What's going on, everybody? Diallo Ricks TV back with another video, and I apologize about that. I just uploaded a video, man. We had technical difficulties. I think that the Laker organization over Ramona, Shelburne, somebody that hacked into my computer, man. They done hacked into the boy computer because they don't want y'all to hear this truth, man. But I'm going to still bring the truth back because I had no sound on my last video, and I was just upset, okay? But anyway, listen, man. Okay, they're saying that the Lakers are finally waking up. Okay, they finally woke up and smelled the coffee. They finally got some kind of brain cells. Their IQ, they must have sat down and had a conversation with somebody, and they was able to reason with the Lakers so they can see clearly now that the rain is gone. Okay, because they're saying now, hey, Frank Vogel, maybe firing Frank Vogel may not be the best idea. Okay, maybe that's the wrong way because people are starting to analyze and use their brain to see that maybe they're not as dumb as we thought they were. Maybe they're not as dumb and dumber like the movie as we thought they were. Maybe they're starting to smarten up and see that, hey, we can no longer play the blaming game, okay? But it's being rumored. This is via Ramona Shelburne, but the headline says, no one thinks firing Frank Vogel would dramatically change results. Duh. We all been saying this. Okay, so it says the Los Angeles Lakers head coach Frank Vogel might still have a job because the team believes firing him would be an exercise in futility. The Lakers are 8th in the Western Conference at 23-24, which has left them scrambling for solutions about how to turn things around. According to ESPN Ramona Shelburne, Los Angeles isn't prepared to jettison Vogel in part because no one believes changing the coach will yield dramatically different results. Okay, but listen, you can fire Frank Vogel. Just fire him. Let him go. Kick him to the curb, okay? Kick him to the curb like a female that's got caught cheating. Let her go. Let her go, okay? Because he's not the problem. And I just want for people to see that. Get LeBron James whatever he wants. Whatever LeBron James wants, get it, because it's not going to matter. He's still going to, it's not going to change anything because ultimately he's at the root of the problem, okay? And Frank Vogel, for one, okay, get this man, get LeBron James, whatever. If firing Frank Vogel is, you think that's going to change things, you could put anybody in his position. Fire him, let him go. You could replace him with Phil Handy. You could replace him with David Fizdale. You could replace him with Jeannie Buss. Just let's let him go. Let LeBron James be the coach because ultimately that's what they want. And what they're realizing is, hey, we can't use the excuse because we blame Frank Vogel, right? That's not going to work because you have loud voices like Charles Barkley, who's on Inside the Game or Inside the NBA, I think that's what it is, on TNT, right? When you have a boisterous, loud person who has a lot of, popularity, and he's going out there and actually revealing the truth. He's not a part of the Laker PR team to where they can spin things to make it, or a part of LeBron James fanboy club. He's not a bronsexual, so he's not at the forefront spewing these lies and these garbage to try to paint a narrative that, LeBron James is out of the clear. He's in the clear. He does nothing wrong, et cetera, right? But he went out and he went on record and said, hey, people, it makes me upset to see that, and I'm paraphrasing, by the way. He says, it upsets me to see that, Frank Vogel is getting the blame, that Russell Westbrook getting the blame. These guys are playing with no effort. The issues run deeper than the coach and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has limited his turnovers. Frank Vogel, he just won you a championship not too long ago. So, we can no longer blame those two guys. So he exposed that to the media and to the fans, and fans are starting to see, okay, well, maybe it's not Frank Vogel. And as I said, when it comes to the LeBron James fans and the Lakers fans, we're confused because it's like, it's like when you point these things out that Charles Barkley talk about, or when I bring it up, it's like it's a whole different narrative because LeBron James fans, he has an entire fan base that is themselves. It's like us versus them. And we're watching these games and we're seeing that LeBron James is stat padding the stats. And we're seeing all these things and we're pointing it out, but they like, no, like we're seeing facts, but you're like, ignore the facts. That's not right. Stop telling yourself the truth. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Okay. But the Lakers PR team and the front, they have to switch things up. Now they're panicking. Now they're like, okay, we can't. What's going to end up happening is, I think they're going to either trade Russell Westbrook, because now it's being reported that Russell Westbrook went off and while they was watching film, he got defensive, got upset, and threw a tantrum or whatnot. And as I said, what's going to end up happening is Russell Westbrook is going to start revealing the dark truths and he's going to reveal the inner workings of what's happening in the Laker organization, because he's not the type of person that bite his tongue. He speaks freely, and he's not going to allow himself to keep getting the blame. He's going to start saying, look, I ain't turning the ball over like that no more. Y'all need to start looking at LeBron James. That's the type of person that Russell Westbrook is, and that's what I respect about Westbrook. If he got a problem, he's going to stand on it, right? So what I think is going to happen, like I said, I think they're going to end up trading Russell Westbrook, because it seems as though they're heading in. It seems like all signs are pointing to they're ultimately going to get rid of Russell Westbrook, because they're saying things like, oh, well, he was, they're painting him as the villain. They're painting him as the bad guy. So now it's like, now we got a reason to trade him. So when we do trade him, it don't seem like this, it's shocking, because we're highlighting everything that's happening that's leading up to that point. So you guys won't be shocked. Also, they said in the article, it says on January 18th, the Athletics' Bill Orm and Sam Amick reported the coach's job was in serious jeopardy, and that he was being evaluated on a game-to-game basis and was at risk of being fired if progress didn't continue. Either way, I didn't think that he should be on a game-to-game basis. But if you're going to fire Frank Vogel, just let him go. I think, just get LeBron James what he wants. He's had everything that he's had asked for. He didn't want Buddy Hield. He didn't want DeMar DeRozan. And I just got finished watching, what's that show, Undisputed. And Shannon Sharp went on record and said that, hey, well, LeBron James doesn't have the talent that Tom Brady had. I'm like, bro, like a lot of those players that Tom Brady had, he's made them better, right? He said he don't have the same talent that he had with the Patriots. And that's what it goes back to when LeBron James was playing in the finals versus the Golden State Warriors, the first one, when they won in 2015. You have that playoff experience. You've been to the finals before. These guys don't know what it's like to be in the finals. They have no clue because they've never been there before. They don't have the experience that you had. You've won. You're a two-time back-to-back, champion with the Miami Heat. So you supposed to know what to do at that time. Dellavedova was being praised for his defense that he was putting on. What's his name? Steph Curry, right? Andre Iguodala was the Finals MVP. As LeBron James, that's not supposed to happen. These guys are inexperienced when it comes to being on that big stage. You've been there before. You've lost. Even when you lose, it's also helping you. It's also, a lesson that you're supposed to learn that these guys don't know. If you're the best, you're supposed to prove that you're the best, and you're supposed to, find a way to win. Go, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was still down 2-1. So there was really no excuse. And you have to realize they build names from when they're on the big stage. And everybody's name build when they play around these great athletes, right? When you mention, just notice this. When you mention Michael Jordan, you hear names like Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, Steph Curry. I forgot what's the other guy name who hit the shot for him. But you hear all these great players. When you talk about Kobe Bryant, you mention Shaq. You mention Derek Fisher. You mention Robert Horry. You mention Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom. But when it comes to LeBron James, you don't really hear about Kevin Love. You don't hear about Kyrie Irving. You don't hear about you know, Chris Bosh and Anthony Davis, all these great players. LeBron James is playing with some great talent right now. He's playing with, he's had Isaiah Thomas. He wanted to play with Stanley Johnson. He's getting all these players. Carmelo Anthony is one of his buddies. Like, everybody that he wants to play with, that he always wanted to play with, is on the team. And this is who he vouched for to be on the team. So it's really no excuses. And they're itching for Anthony Davis to come back because they have no other excuses. And it's almost like they want him to come back to save the day. It's like, this is backwards thinking. It's like, to me, it hurts your argument for LeBron James to be the GOAT, because it's like, he's the best player. And from what I hear, they're saying he's the greatest player of this generation, right? So why are you waiting for a Superman to come save a Superman? That doesn't make sense. Shouldn't you be hoping that Robin is waiting for Batman to come help him, right? Isn't that what you would expect? You don't think, Batman is going to be at the top, like, man, like, I need my sidekick to try to I need my sidekick to win, or is he going to try to win and do a phenomenal job at winning? And what I'm saying is, Superman does the job by himself, and LeBron James need to do it by himself, opposed to waiting for a sidekick. Handle your business by yourself is what I'm trying to get to. So they're waiting for Anthony Davis to come back to save you. You can't do that. You already got Russell Westbrook. And when we look at the Nets without Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant carried a team full of young guys. Same thing with Steph Curry. And they say, oh, well, LeBron James too old. He too old to be trying to carry your team, but he not too old to be dominating at year 19. You can't have it both ways. Which one is it? Is he too old, or is he good enough to be dominating at 37 years old in year 19? But I just think that the Lakers should get rid of Frank Vogel. Just get rid of him. Get rid of Frank Vogel. Trade Russell Westbrook. Do everything that LeBron James want. I really think what the Lakers should do is, and this is what I think the media should do, is they should pressure the Lakers front office and the media to trade LeBron James. What is he still around for? And that's not to discredit him or to say anything bad about him as a player, but what else does he have to prove? Why do you want him to be in Los Angeles so bad? He done already won a title for this franchise. What more do you want? Like, he's already delivered. They haven't been to the playoffs and haven't been to the finals in I don't know how long. I mean, they don't want to give, and that's another thing, they don't give anybody else credit. LeBron James gets all the credit. And they say, you should thank LeBron. He brought you a title. He just brought you the Lakers a title and blah, 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 right? But they fail to mention that when this first year came, he missed the playoffs and Anthony Davis wasn't there. And then when Anthony Davis came, they won. And then when Anthony Davis got injured, 2 years ago, or was it last year? I think last year, he got knocked out the first round. So was it LeBron James that brought the title, or was it Anthony Davis? Right? So they should just trade LeBron James, in my opinion, because that's the only thing. LeBron James is the system, and as no matter who you put in there or who's coaching, that's what they need to do. The media needs to pressure the front office and everybody else, the fans, his minions, the Bronxexuals, pressure the Laker organization to trade him. Because, like I said, he has nothing left to really prove there. Like, what else? Would you want him to be in Los Angeles to, surpass Kareem? He has to be in Los Angeles. Okay, that's cool. Then just say that. Just say that, you know what? LeBron James, this is just a throwaway year. Don't even talk about it no more. Instead of blaming everybody and making them feel like, man, like, it's my fault, and making them feel like I want to be traded or not. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.